Okay, so before we get into talking about the PFL debut, July 8th, it's been a long time since I've spoken to you, Frans Mlambo. The
Yeah,
last
man.
time, in fact, that I spoke to you, a lot of things have changed since then.
All
Um,
right.
so let's go back to then. The last time I spoke to you was in 2021. You had just signed with Combate. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
we were feeling super optimistic. I remember you
Uh-huh.
being super positive in the interview, and obviously we were so happy to go and watch you win that tournament and stuff. Everything was looking great.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a religious person. However, if there is some kind of like higher being,
Yeah.
they did not want you to have a good 2022, my man. Like I there was a part during the year where
Oh, stop.
I had a conversation with one of my friends about you about the combate stuff, and we were like, oh, what's Fran's been up to so far? Let's have a look. And
Yeah,
it seems like a nightmare year, mate. Tell me about
it
it.
was. It was the worst, man. Like I've talked about it so much that I can't always go into detail about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Anytime
no,
I,
I get
I
you.
think back at the year, you get me, yeah?
Hmm.
It's flipping terrible, but I've had the worst time, man. But right now, what I'm concentrating on is the fact that like I'm literally sitting here 15 days away from a fight, and I've been waiting 18 months to fight. You know what I mean? Everything just kind of went wrong in that time. Like I know you say that from time to time, everything went wrong. I'm talking literally, nothing was going right for a good few months. Just everything just kept falling apart. You know what I'm saying? Like even down to the littlest things, man. You know what I mean? Which made no sense because I was doing what I needed to do. Even after that whole tournament, like I trained for a good like 4 or 5 months after just to stay ready and just nothing came up. And then we're sitting here nearly 18 months later. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. It was horrible. But here, look, you know what though? I take from that is, flipping gold is refined in the fire, man. And I went through some heat that year. So we've able to see some gold and shit going on there in that cage.
The thing with MMA, with it, you having like a schedule of fighting every, maybe 3 times a year, maybe twice, maybe 4 times, something around that, is like
Hmm.
you kind of don't hear about a fighter. It's kind of like a little off
Yeah,
season, and then you come back.
yeah.
And so when
Uh-huh.
fighters aren't active, you kind of just like, because it's so constant every week, there's
Yeah,
another
yeah,
event.
yeah, yeah,
You kind
yeah,
of lose track of
yeah,
it, which is why I had to have that
yeah.
conversation with my friend. Like, what is Fran's been up to? Let's have a look. And I think one
Yeah.
of the things that people like might not realize is that if that person isn't fighting, you're not.
Mm.
It's not that you're not finding out about them; it's that they can't
Hmm.
make a living. Like,
This is true, man. 100%. Yeah.
so, and
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
you're dead
craziest
right.
thing about it with your story, which is why I said about how something must have been counting against you, is because you were doing
Yeah.
so well. It like you
Yeah.
hear those kind of stories with people where maybe they've been on a bit of a slide. They're fighting in different promotions here, there, and everywhere, and like
Mm.
struggling to find fights for that reason and having some bad luck. But
Yeah.
you would just come off of like one of your best years as a pro.
I know. It was crazy, man. And that's what made it even worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what made it even worse. Every time I was like, I'd have one of these, like, kind of realizations of my situation. Like, say, like, I'd be in work or something, right? And I'd be working and be like, why am I doing this? I'm winning in what I do, and I should be. So I was saying, I shouldn't be here. And it just kept pissing me off, and I kept saying it. I'm like, this just isn't right. What did I do to be in this situation? And when I'd sit there and I'd think back, and I'm like, mate, I trained, I fought, I won, and I won, and I won, and I won. And why am I still here, not being able to get fights and having to take odd jobs? And you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's madness. But yeah, yeah, I definitely felt like that. And anyways, I was like, there's something that's just trying to break me. But actually, you know what, right? Did you ever hear of Job in the Bible?
I'm not. I know the name, but I won't
Job.
pretend like I know it too well.
All right. Well, Job went through a rough time where uh, God and No, Lucifer basically challenged God to say, look, this guy Job, he worships you and all because you gave him everything. He's rich, he has a lot of family and stuff like that. And then God was like, no, it's not because I give him that. He's just because he's loyal. But then they had a little bet to see how bad Satan could
Right.
mess with Job, and so his whole family was like killed. He lost all his riches. His wife died. Everything fell apart, literally. And obviously, like I beginning at this, I didn't have I mean, a big family, but what I did have kind of crumbled apart. Do you know what I'm saying? And everything else, like I lost everything else, so I felt like I was being drove. That was a long explanation, but that I did have that kind of thought. You know what I mean? But but at the same time, looking at where I am now, right? I am just a few months away from being a millionaire, like less than 2 years. In less than 2 years' time, everything that I've worked for could, you know what I'm saying, with this opportunity that PFL is putting through. So it could work. It could work out to be a Cinderella story, man. So that's what we're waiting for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know if again, even with the whole analogies of putting you through trials and things like that,
Mm.
for it to end, well, the kind of the a new chapter to start with. I was listening to the interview you did with Sevilla earlier, and the
Mm.
story of you getting the PFL contract, like the improved
Oh,
PFL contract, and the Ultimate Fighter through, and having to
it's crazy.
stall them out kind
Yeah.
of to see which one, like trying to wait as long as you could before making that decision. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Oh,
kind of
stop.
doesn't. There's no better ending in sight.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%. Like it has to happen. Like it
Yeah,
has to. Like it just has to. That's what I'm going into. Like even when I talk about the fights, I can't even say, "Oh, if I have to." You know what I mean?
mm.
It's just one of them things where if I don't get this, I'm just calling it quits, man. I'm just I'm just gonna drop the mic and flip and walk out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done too much, man. This, you know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
With both the PFL and obviously having the Ultimate Fighter there as an option as well, though. Both things are like a tournament format. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah,
every fight is so important.
yeah.
Like, I wonder whether you having that approach of like, I've been through a year of not fighting. I can't be sat out on the sidelines anymore. Like from
Hmm.
now on, it's win or nothing. Like
Exactly.
that must change it, right? Like when you thought about both options, was that did that ever cross your mind of like the two options I've been given are win or go home? Like
Hmm.
that
Exactly.
again is like a strange coincidence.
Isn't it? But the thing is, that was on the same day, bro. Like I was waiting for like flipping a year to hear anything about a fight. Didn't hear a single thing. And then I get this big mad two options, like you said, on the same day within the space of a few hours. It was flipping crazy. It is like something is messing with me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seems like. Because all this shit's unreal, man. But yeah, we win or we learn, isn't it?
We'll get to talking about like the option you did pick, which is obviously the PFL, because I think again there's some coincidences that have played out on that side of things. But
Right.
again, if we're talking coincidences, the Ultimate Fighter and it's
Mm.
Conor McGregor coaching it, it couldn't be any more set up for you to be in it. And
Oh, stop. But
I know that
but
you
before you
said,
finish that, though, right? Before you finish that, you probably are gonna say what I'm about to say. But I, when I found out about it, or when I got into it, it wasn't finalized that he was in it. Is that what you're about to say?
yeah,
Yeah.
you had to
Yeah. So
wait,
I
right, to try and
exactly.
figure it out.
Yeah. So when I got it, then it was the thing of, oh wait, Connor might be doing it, and I was like, all right, well then I'll definitely do the Ultimate Fighter in that case. But it was so long before they finalized it that the PFR were like, here, look, we have to giving you a good deal. We can't keep you, you know what I mean? We can't keep us waiting for any longer. And I was like, kind of fair enough. I'll just go with you guys. But not just go with you guys just because it's like the second option, but this is the better option for me the only reason I'd be going to the UFC was if Connor was kind of, doing it. But at the time, it wasn't finalized. So PFL was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
No-brainer for me, man. Mm.
Um, the part that I enjoyed the most about the chat that you did a few months ago with Sevilla,
Yeah.
was you got asked, is there any idea for matchups for this first round of the PFL? And you said, oh well, funnily enough, they put out the lineup for the roster,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, I actually laughed because me and Don Wooden were above each other, and I thought
Right.
that was the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there going, no way has this happened as well.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
coincidence of
I
you
know.
thinking, oh, no way have they matched me with Dom. Oh, they haven't. It's a
Yeah.
coincidence. And
Yeah.
then
Then it
it comes
happens,
out.
man. Mate, I flipping honestly, this is like one of the best interviews ever. I love the way you've got and you're giving me information that I've like forgotten because I don't remember things for too long. So the like certain things you're telling me, I'm like, God damn, I'm forgetting them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. But yeah, that's another thing as well. I didn't want to fight him, to be honest. I've already fought him. I like the guy. I feel like, you know what I mean, he has good things going on with himself. But yeah, we're gonna have to do it, isn't it? It is what it is now at this stage. I'm going to have to smash.
But like, I'm sure it was surprising to you, obviously, but like, it was surprising, I think, to everyone because
Mm-hmm.
Dom had been announced for the PFL quite a while before yourself, so everyone
Right,
knew
right,
that he
right,
was going to
right.
be in the tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be totally honest, I'm not familiar with a whole lot of the names in the tournament. I am now that
Mm-hmm.
like we've had a lot of time, but straight
Okay.
away, I think that when that lineup got announced, everyone went Dom and Franz in the final.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so it
yeah,
comes
yeah,
out,
yeah.
which in fairness, they've done that in the regular season as well. Like they had Oban
Okay.
Marcier fight Shane Burgos straight off the bat and stuff like
Right,
that.
right,
So
right, right,
I
right,
think
right.
it is the
So
kind
that
of
that's their
idea.
MO, really, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
okay.
they had Rob Wilkinson who won the like heavyweight tournament, fight Thiago Santos in his first fight. So like
Ah, right.
it does seem like that is the idea.
That's the yeah, yeah. They had to have a pattern of kind of doing stuff like that.
But like,
But because everybody has said it to me that like, why are
yeah,
they putting you guys in first? And I was like, I don't flip it now. But here it is what it is, man.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you said, where it's like I've already fought Dom. You know, it'd probably be nice to
Yeah.
fight. Some like it's not only you guys are the two guys that everyone's looking at as
No,
like,
of
oh, that
course
would
not.
be a good finalist.
Yeah.
You've already
Yeah,
fought
yeah,
before.
yeah. Exactly, yeah. So all you need to do is flipping. I was about to say all you need to do is go on YouTube and see us fight, but the video is gone, man. I've looked
Really?
for me and Dominic. Yeah, Nathan's one's there. All the other ones are there, but I haven't seen that one. Was take. It was there for like a few weeks, and then it was like taken down. It's mad.
Hmm. That is
Well, if you
bizarre.
find it, send it to me because I was trying to look for it. I couldn't find
I'll have a look.
it. Yeah.
The interesting thing I think that between your fight with Dom in 2019, you both have had such different trajectories to get to this
Hmm.
point. Like
Yeah, yeah.
as I said with the announcement of you guys fighting each other, Dom, it was such a high profile thing with him trying to get to the PFL, and then it finally happened, and it was like they're promoting him as one of the faces of the European series and stuff like that. And
Mm.
then with you, in fact, I don't want to get him into trouble, but I remember how most people found out. It's because John Kavanagh accidentally said it in an interview that
I know. Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
going to be.
yeah.
What was your reaction to that?
Well, I just didn't know how, like, because whereas it wasn't supposed to be said at the time.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? And he just kind of said it, but I don't really care about all that. Like, I mean, it's just what they would eventually found out anyway. So a bit sooner doesn't really change much. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, no, because I was actually in work when somebody rang me. They were like, "Oh, John just spilled the beans." I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "He just declared you that you're on PFL and all that." But yeah, whatever, man. That is what it is, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah,
As I said, I think that there could have been. I think that you fighting Dom should have been pushed back later. But
yeah. I think there's so many people saying it to me that like I'm like I don't know, like I can't do anything about it. Ring the PFL and like vote it out.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, I like. if that had been, before it had been booked, now it's booked. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're
Yeah,
kicking it off with
yeah.
the
Because imagine me fighting Dom in Dublin. Do you know what I mean? That would have for the final. That would have been it. I think that would have been it, man. You know what I mean?
this isn't like I do have another question. I'm not just going to end it with us just saying like scrap like why did they do this fight? Let's change it. But
Right.
like yeah, you Dom in the final in Dublin sounds a lot better than you and Dom first round in Germany.
Yeah, exactly. That
I
didn't even sound good what you just said there.
um the final I kind of what I was alluding to was you and Dom having such different paths to get into the PFL.
Mm.
When you look at what he's done and gone through Cage Warriors and gone that way, and at the time it looked like maybe he would be going to the UFC, and then the PFL
Yeah, yeah,
coming
yeah.
in, the PFL kind of came in and committed to Europe at the perfect time for both you and
Mm.
him.
Yeah.
To now find yourself in this position where you guys, like I said, when the matchups came out, everyone was like, "Oh, that's the one." Like to go back to the start that we were talking about in this interview, where it just seemed like timing wasn't on your side. It seemed like fights in general were not wanting to be on your
Flipping
side.
life in general, man.
Like, how far away does all of that feel now that you've started this kind of? It feels like a complete breath of fresh air with the
It
PFL
does.
kicking off
100%,
Europe.
man. Yeah. No, 100%. Like, and then not only that, right? The thing is, what I have now, like, as in with the fact that I'll be possibly fighting in obviously July, then September, then December. That kind of consistency is literally what I've been asking for since my amateur career.
Yeah,
Any organization I've been in, I was like, keep me active. I was like, anytime I finish a fight, I'm like, I'm ready to go in a month. But it never happens, like, you know what I'm saying? But this is flipping perfect. Not only did I offer that consistency I was looking for my whole career, but then as well, they're offering the flipping change that I've been kind of looking to get my whole career as well. So it's flipping working out perfect, man. Yeah, it was gone to shit, but now it's coming together slowly but surely.
that's great to hear, mate. I cannot
Yeah,
wait
man.
for this fight, even though we've debated whether it should have been, whether it shouldn't have been in Germany. I
Yeah,
still
but it's
can't
still
wait for
gonna
it.
be a great fight for sure.
We're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
going to
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
I
Mm.
wanted to finally ask you: have you watched any of the season of The Ultimate Fighter?
Season of the Ultimate Fighter. To be honest, not yet. Yeah, because what I like to do is I like to sit down and go through the whole thing. I haven't watched it yet. I don't have like the fight pass and all that. I'll get onto it though, but because I know like I'm
In that case, I
literally
won't say
talking to
anything.
Lee and a few other guys and stuff like that. Like you know what I mean? Like train with guys that were on the team, so I really should be watching it. But yeah, I'll get on that eventually. But well, you had a question regarding that if I was
Uh,
watching it, is it?
sort of, but I don't want to. I don't want to say. And by the time this interview won't come out until nearer the fight anyway, so it'll probably be old
Ah,
news
okay.
anyway. So it won't really matter.
Right.
So it
Yeah,
don't matter.
cool. But
Um,
I'll check it out anyways, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Um, thank you so much for your time, mate. We'll have to catch up after the fight and talk about the next round and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
But until then,
for
all the best
sure.
with it.
Mate, you're awesome. And I'll catch
Thank
you
you.
later, yeah?
Nice one.
All
Cheers,
right.
mate. All the best.
Peace.